Good morning. It is day 8 of 50 Days of Fitness, and good to see you guys. Hope you're having a great day. I finished my first set and earned my first cup of coffee, which I have been enjoying here, and so I hope you have as well. Let me know in the comments how it's going. This is day 8. And so it's 8 days without any sugar for me. Remember, I'm doing the earn your coffee exercises, and in the background, I'm also doing the sugar fast. And I have not been having any sugar cravings for the last couple of days. My past experience has been that it usually takes 2 or 3 weeks. So I don't know that I'm completely out of the woods yet, but it has been better. And one comment I wanted to mention to you. Um, there is a person who I watch who he's on YouTube and he does stuff on diet and stuff. And one of the things he says, he's like, if I'm having sugar cravings, lots of times something salty helps get rid of that craving. And I hadn't really thought about that before, but when I have done fasting for a while, that's one of the things is we drank salt water, mainly to make sure that our electrolytes didn't get out of balance. But thinking back on it, I do recall that when I'd get hungry or feel that way, if I had a little salt water, it did help. So I don't know where you are on that. If you're having those cravings, you might give that a try. See what it looks like. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about sleep. We're in mid-March right now, and last weekend we had the time change, and it usually takes me a week or so to kind of adapt to that. But because of that, I thought, hey, maybe I should talk about sleep because it has affected my sleep. And I think that I think in our country, there are a lot of people who have problems with sleep, and you hear people talk about it all the time. And they don't seem to know what to do about it. And I'm going to, and I again, always remember, I am not a health professional. I'm not a, licensed or certified trainer or anything like this. But I do feel like I know more than the average guy about health and fitness just because of some things I did in the past. There's a gentleman, you have probably heard of him, or if you've not, you ought to check him out. His name is Andrew Huberman. He is a scientist and has a podcast and he talks about all kinds of things. And it is primarily focused on trying to have optimal health. So he's a good person to follow if you are looking for that kind of information. But he has talked about sleep a number of times, and there are some things that you can do to help your sleep. And we also need to prioritize our sleep. I mean, that's one thing that we have to really think about. In sleep, it turns out sleep is so important. It's important for it's important for our body weight. It's important for our fitness. When you work out a lot, like if you're really working out in the gym, most of your recovery happens while you're asleep. And they'll even say that, if you're bodybuilding or even if you're trying to build strength or things like that, that if you're not getting enough sleep, that will be a factor. It will actually diminish your returns. So sleep is super important. The other thing is it's very important for our health, very important for our learning. There's been more and more studies about sleep and how it affects learning, and the amount of sleep and the consistency of sleep are very important. So I think that a lot of us feel sleep deprived, but at the same time, I would say a lot of people don't prioritize it. It's I and I'm guilty of it. I'm not trying to say that I'm not, but I do so much better on sleep. Actually, since my cancer surgery 5 years ago, before that I worked out every day for at least 10 years. I worked out every day an hour to 2 hours every single day. And after the surgery, um, I really just couldn't do it. And I was so tired. And I thought, I think I need the sleep more than I need the exercise. So I quit setting an alarm. I quit, I would take naps, I would do whatever. And for a while, I was sleeping 14 to 16 hours a day. I'm back to what I consider a very normal schedule now. I sleep about 7.5 hours a night. Um, and that's another thing that's kind of funny. Like, we have these sleep cycles. They last, and each of us individually, it varies a little bit, but in general, it's somewhere around 90 minutes. And so that's one of those, that's another kind of a funny little sleep hack. It's like, you should probably try to sleep at a multiple of 90 minutes. So if you go into the next sleep cycle, you might feel more tired than if you had gotten up at the end of that. So that's just kind of a little aside for you to think about. But things to do about sleep. One of the possibly the most important thing about sleep is getting your circadian cycles lined up. And again, you really need to listen to Andrew Huberman's podcast on this. He has a number of podcasts, a number of shorts. He talks about this all the time. And so what that means is, and please double check with him because I think I'm going to get this right, is you really need sunlight. Sunlight more than anything else. If you can't get sunlight, interior light can help. It's better than none, but it's just not nearly as effective. So one of the things that Andrew Huberman recommends, he's like, during the morning, in the morning, after the sun has come up, try to get outside and don't look directly at the sun, but look in the direction of the sun so that you're having more light coming into your eyes. And you should be out there 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, and that'll help set your circadian rhythms. Also, this doesn't really necessarily affect sleep so much, but and we'll talk about this probably a little bit more in another video. Most of Americans are vitamin D deprived, which has been a big change. And in some ways that's good because we were, back in the 60s and 70s, we were getting too much sun. But now I would say we probably don't get enough. And so that's another thing is for your health, it's actually good to be out in the sun. Now, you don't want to get burned or anything like that, but being out in the sun is healthy for you. And the other thing is, and some of this has to do with the change in our environment. So with that light in the morning, you do that. Another thing to not feel sleepy during the day is when you wake up in the morning, you want bright lights in your eyes. So I know a lot of us, I'm single now, so it's not an issue for me, but when we're married or, have a significant other or whatever, you get up and you're kind of trying to get, ready in the dark so that you don't bother your partner, but you want to turn on the lights. You want lights in your eyes, and that will help make you feel awake much, much quicker. So light is super important. And then at the end of the day, while the sun is still up, it's good to go outside again and get a little bit of light at the end of the day. But when you're home and it's getting dark, you don't want all your lights on. At that time, say an hour or so before bed, you want to minimize the amount of light. So if you're, maybe you're watching TV, you're doing whatever, don't have all the lights in the room on. Have maybe one so that it's dim, and get your body kind of ready to go to sleep. Another thing is screen time. And again, I know this is hard. Lots of times, I'm looking at my phone and kind of going through things kind of late into the evening, but really you probably should cut off all screen time after 10 p.m. And the first in the morning, you probably should not have any screen time for the first hour, hour and a half when you get up. And I know these all seem kind of funny. I don't know, but those things by themselves can have a big effect on your sleep. Another thing, if you're having problems with sleep and these other things aren't helping, I would argue that these would be the best things to try first. They're natural, you're not taking anything else, but you can take melatonin. Melatonin is it's what should we call it? But it is a substance that your body produces to help you feel sleepy, and it's important for you to go to sleep. And that production in your body can be disrupted by things, but you can take it as a supplement, and they come in different amounts. There's like a 5 milligram. I think there's even a 2.5 milligram thing, but usually a lot of it, so it's going to depend on it depends upon the individual. It depends upon how big you are. You know, kids, you don't need nearly as much. Adults, you need more. And so that was another thing. After cancer, they had me taking melatonin for about a year or so. And melatonin is a good thing to kind of, again, you take it a little bit before you're going to go to bed, and it will kind of help your body sort of relax, get into a relaxed state. So I feel a little bit like I was all over the map today. So let's see if we can do a very quick summary. Prioritize your sleep. Try to get about 7.5 hours of sleep. And one of the best ways to do that is to get some sunlight in the morning and in the evening. Dim your lights at night. If you still need help, you might try melatonin as a supplement. And that's it, my friends. We've gone over. I'm sorry about that. We will come back tomorrow for day 9 of 50 Days of Fitness. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, everybody. Bye.